10-Minute Jazz Lesson Podcast, episode 64. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the 10-Minute Jazz Lesson Podcast. My name is Nick Manella. I'm the creator and host of the show, and I will be guiding you through a short and concise jazz lesson, complete with PDF, which you can find at our website, 10minutejazzlesson.com. That's the number 10minutejazzlesson.com. Go there and check it out. Get your free PDF this week, and there's a lot of other really cool stuff over at the website, including all the back PDFs from all of our episodes, 64 in total. So there's a wealth of information there. Make sure you go and check it out today. All right, so today I wanted to talk about something that I've been working on this week that I think is going to revolutionize some of your playing. So one thing that we talk about all the time on this show is learning vocabulary, right? I'm always preaching the benefits of learning other people's licks, transcribing other people's solos, and generally just using people that are really, really amazing at playing this music and kind of lifting some of their stuff and putting it into our own playing. But one of the issues with this is that ultimately you don't want to sound like the person that you're sort of stealing from, right? I mean, it's okay to sound a little bit like them. Like, let's say I love John Coltrane's playing. Well, I'm probably going to want to sound a little bit like him, but I'm not going to want to play all of his material verbatim. That's not very interesting. I'm basically going to sound like a carbon copy of John Coltrane. So we want to kind of think of some different ways that we can take vocabulary that we've learned from other musicians and kind of make it our own, as well as developing some flexibility, right? Because when you are improvising, you don't want to be locked into just playing a string of vocabulary uninterrupted from somebody else. We don't want to feel like we're not really improvising, right? I mean, the term improvisation means you're making it up on the spot. And at some point, if you're basically just reiterating or regurgitating licks from somebody else's solo, you're not really improvising at that point, right? So there's kind of a fine balance when we're improvising between letting the tradition and the people that have come before us inform our playing, and then on the other side of it, becoming carbon copies of somebody else. We kind of want to live in the middle there, right? Where maybe we're nodding to the tradition, but we're also playing original stuff. And the stuff that we're playing, nobody's really heard before. So this week we're going to focus on taking a lick from somebody and manipulating it in a bunch of different ways so that we have some flexibility and we don't feel like we're locked in. And also, the way that we play this certain lick is going to be a little bit different than the person that we originally took it from, right? So one of the best ways to do that, again, if you're a little bit new to jazz or if you consider yourself still somewhat of a beginner or an intermediate when it comes to playing, you may not want to change the harmonic content or the melodic content. You may be unsure of what to do when it comes to sort of adding your own melody or harmony to whatever's going on. So the place that you should start is by manipulating the rhythm. I feel like we can all kind of do this without too much trouble. So what I've done is I've taken a John Coltrane lick from his solo on My Shining Hour. And that is going to be the first example on your sheet this week, is going to be the pure lick that John Coltrane plays over a 2-5-1. And it's a great lick. It has some great harmonic stuff. It has some great rhythmic stuff. Then what we're going to do is we're going to mess with it. Or at least we're going to mess with the rhythm, right? We're going to take the different spots where he uses varying rhythm, and we're going to change those. And we're going to kind of make the lick our own, and in that way we're going to develop that flexibility that I was talking about at the beginning of the episode. So let's start by checking out the original lick so you can get your ears on that. This is example number 1 on your sheet. All right, so you can hear it's a very, very cool lick, and one of the reasons that I chose it is because it's all diatonic. There's no, altered tones in there. So it's very simple to hear, very basic as far as the melodic content and the harmonic content, so that we can focus on the rhythm. So you'll notice that he plays a dotted quarter rest, followed by a dotted quarter note, 2/8 notes, 4/16 notes, and then the rest of the line is all 8th notes, right? So I'm going to zero in on those 16th notes. That's going to be a great thing for me to mess with. So right now, in the original lick, the 16th notes are on beat 1, correct? So now what we're going to do is we're going to shift the 16th notes to beat 2. So I'm turning those first two 16th notes into 8th notes, and then the first two 8th notes in the measure that I saw in the original lick, I'm going to turn into 16th notes. So basically, I'm shifting the 16th notes over by one measure. Let's see what that sounds like. So very close to the original line, and that's kind of the point, is that we're sticking very, very close to what we hear John Coltrane doing, but we're just switching little parts of it to start to develop that flexibility. So I think it sounds kind of cool on beat 2. Let's see what happens if we shift the 16th notes to beat 3. Let's hear how that changes the line. So are you starting to see a pattern here? Now what we're going to do is we're going to shift the 16th notes to beat 4. And this is one of my favorite ones because I think that the 16th notes really provide us a lot of momentum going into the 1 chord. Check out what the 16th notes sound like on beat 4. So you could see how much we can do with this. I mean, we could literally be here all day, tweaking and messing with every single rhythm. We could start adding rests. We can start editing the line and taking stuff away from it. In fact, maybe I'll do an episode next week where I'm actually editing the line and completely changing things, taking it a step further. I think I will do that, actually. I just got my idea for next week's podcast. So what we're going to do is for the final 2 licks, we're going to mess with the first measure. And this is really, really simple. So in the next example, what I've done is, train comes in on the and of 2 in the original lick, and I'm just going to start on 1. And I'm going to play a dotted half note all the way until beat 4. I'm really not changing much in this lick, but it's enough. It's enough to make it sound different and not do exactly what Coltrane did. So this is very, very simple substitution of just a dotted half note where the dotted quarter note rest used to be. So that one's like really, really close to the original. Now what I'm going to do in the final example for this week is I'm going to start on beat 1, play that dotted half note, but now it's tied to an 8th note, and I've turned the 8th notes at the end of the measure into 2 16th notes. So now I have these running 16th notes. I'm adding to that double time feel of the lick. So what if you were to combine, the first measure, changing the first measure and changing the second measure, right? That's where you sort of want to go next with this. But let's check out this last line first. I'm getting ahead of myself. So that definitely changes things. That gives us many more 16th notes, running 16th notes, which changes the line a lot. So do you see how far you could go with this stuff? I could literally do this all day. I mean, I could come up with 100 different ways of playing this one line. And the other great thing about this is if you're really delving into the line and you are really figuring out a whole bunch of different ways to play it, you're learning the line so much better. the more that you do with it. So I guarantee you this will stick in your head like crazy if you work on it this hard. All right? Send me any questions you might have, 10minutejazzlesson@gmail.com. And we'll see you again next week with another brand new episode. I hope you're having a fantastic summer. And thank you so much for tuning in every week. I really, really appreciate it. You guys make my week every single time. Love getting emails from you, so make sure you get in touch. All right, talk to you next week, everybody. Have a great one.